Good evening, and welcome to Millbrae Community Television, presentation of Mills High School football. It's homecoming tonight, plenty of festivities off the field, and we're looking forward to plenty of festivities on the field as the hometown Mills Vikings welcome in the visiting Jefferson Indians. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Revi Sahai, very lucky to be joined tonight by RealGM.com's Danny LaRue. Danny, it's an honor to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, let's talk a little bit about this game. We've got two teams coming in with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder after tough losses in the previous week. Let's start with Mills. They had some opportunities, could not take advantage of those opportunities. A frustrating loss for the Vikings last week against the first place Hillsdale Knights.
You got that right. Last week, Mills forced 3 turnovers and stopped Hillsdale twice on 3rd and goal. However, Hillsdale ended up scoring on both of those 4th and goal opportunities and ended up winning the game 27-7. Coach Mike Creeder said that the 2 keys to this game are blocking and execution, and the team will look to improve on both of those tonight.
Yes, sir. Now, on the other side of the ball, Jefferson, well, there's no way to sugarcoat it. A difficult season for the Indians so far, 0-7 in combined conference, non-conference play. However, some things to build on, some things looking up. They had showed some real progress last week against Carmont with their superstar, young, dynamic quarterback.
Damari Davis, their sophomore starting quarterback, was excellent last week. He went 16 for 24, passing the ball for over 200 yards, a touchdown and interception. He balanced that with more than 100 yards rushing, another touchdown, and a 90-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. A remarkable week for a remarkable young player.
Absolutely incredible performance by Damari Davis. But now on the other side of the ball, Mills has a pretty special young quarterback too, Marquise Adkins. And you know, it's pretty easy to be a great quarterback when you're throwing to such a great superstar wide receiver as they have over at Mills.
Senior wide receiver Victor Beglesov is going to try to show that he's the total package on homecoming on both sides of the field. He's an excellent wide receiver, he's a strong linebacker, and he also handles the kicking duties in all special teams. Last week he had 5 catches for more than 100 yards and a touchdown, along with 8 tackles.
All right, well, we're looking forward to a great matchup tonight. Looks like the teams are about ready to take the field. We're about ready to get the call on, so sit back and enjoy. It's time for some football on MCTV.
So Jefferson will be receiving the ball. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as the Mills High School Band performs our national anthem, led by Doug Miner.
Thanks very much to the Mills Viking Band for that excellent rendition of the national anthem. The Jefferson Indians won the toss and elected to receive, so we'll be seeing their offense first and the Mills defense. The off-field homecoming festivities continue.
That they do. getting ready. It looks like the Vikings are about to take the field. They're getting instructions.
Back to receive, it will be the junior wide receiver, Johnny Paramore, along with the dynamic sophomore starting quarterback, Damari Davis.
And remember to keep an eye on him because number 3 because he had a 90-yard kickoff return for a touchdown last week.
That's right. We could see it again this week.
And Victor Beligzasov will be kicking the ball off.
Kicking the ball off for the Vikings, as we detailed in the opener, is their jack-of-all-trades, do-everything superstar, Victor Beligzasov, the big senior. Kick is taken loosely by Davis. Makes it to almost to the 30-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 from about the 28.
It's difficult on a play like that because he didn't have many blockers there, so the Vikings were ready for him.
Not many blockers, but plenty of moves as he shifted and slided up to the 28-yard line. So the Indians will come to the line. Here's Davis with Regil Peniza in the backfield. Johnny Paramore, Bonclair Matudio out wide. It's the give to Peniza, and he's taken down close to the line of scrimmage.
San Jose on the tackle.
It'll be a gain of no yards. John San Jose, the defensive end, on the tackle.
Did an excellent job reading and diagnosing that and getting there right as the handoff happened, amazingly enough.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. From the 28-yard line. Here's Davis. Back to pass. Evades a man. Up the middle for a moderate gain. That'll be a gain of about 5 yards. And it'll be 3rd and 5 from the 34.
Davis did an excellent job there eluding the first tackle. That could have been another loss or small gain, but he ended up getting about 5 yards out of it. So it's a solid gain for Jefferson.
3rd down.
Defensively for Mills, we already talked about John San Jose. Saleh Langi is the nose guard.
Paul Davis to Matudio.
And Amin Alazay at right end.
That's a very nice tackle right there. Good to finish it out, so now it's going to be 4th down.
Mills runs 5 linebackers out there. It'll be Rondell Dondoy, the bull. That's what they call that position, the strong outside linebacker. Jefta Zapata is the strong side middle linebacker. Ryan Del Rosario up the middle. Jaime Alfario is the weak side linebacker. And the quarterback, Marquise Atkins, gets out there at the weak side. They plays more like a strong safety position, Danny.
Yeah, he bounces between the two depending on the situation.
And back in the backfield, it'll be Joshua Sved, pound for pound. Coach Krieger will take him against anyone. He's the toughest fighter on the team. Christian Miranda is the free safety, and the stud running back, Antonio Jeffrey, is the other corner.
It's a side.
So it'll be 1st down for the Indians. Davis to the line with Peniza in the backfield. It's the pass over the head of Johnny Paramore and incomplete.
Qual Davis,
it was a little bit too high. It would have been a difficult catch.
So far, Mills putting some pressure on the Indians, not really allowing Davis to get into any kind of rhythm with his passes.
Yeah, and they're getting enough pressure to make it there, and then when he has gotten enough time, Davis need to put a little more touch on him to start moving the ball really down the field.
Jefferson up to the line quickly again, not taking too much time here. It's Paramore at the bottom of your screen, Blandino at the top. The fake to Peniza, kept by Davis
on the run.
And he's unable to make much of it. A gain of about a yard. It'll be 3rd and 9.
Well read by Mills. It looked like the running back might take that one, but he held it back, and they read it perfectly.
Danny, that zone read, that fake to the running back is the whole essence of the scheme for both of these teams, isn't it?
Absolutely, and it's a difficult scheme for high schools to run. It's something that takes experience. You even see NFL quarterbacks have trouble with it when they start.
No question. So here's the Indians on 3rd down looking to convert. Paramore in motion. Davis back to throw, and Ryan Del Rosario almost had him.
Ball Davis, pass incomplete.
Excuse me, that was the bull, Rondell Dondoy, who almost had Davis in his clutches, but he escaped, not able to deliver a completed pass, and it will be 4th down.
Davis had a lot of blindside pressure. You could tell that he felt it by how the ball came out, but it was strong defensive play by Mills.
So 4th down will bring out Dominic Blandino in his kicker's role. Both these teams have star wide receivers who are also their kickers. Dominic Blandino, in fact, was formerly the quarterback of this team.
Blandino's back to punt.
Damari Davis came in and made such an impression that he kind of took that position over, didn't he?
That's exactly right, and his athleticism makes him a good fit for it, and Blandino's getting the ball a lot as a wide receiver.
So here's the kick by Blandino. Joshua Sved elects not to return, and it will be down by the Jefferson Indians for a 1st down at the 12-yard line.
And while Sved had some space to work there, it would have been a difficult one to catch because it hit the ground so early.
So this will bring out the Mills offense for their first appearance on the field. So here's Marquise Adkins to the line. Victor Beglitzoff in the slot now goes in motion. Keep your eye on him. They give it straight to him, and it's complete. Complete and for a 1st down, and he's still going. All the way to the 40-yard line. Victor Beglitzoff gets it started with a bang.
An excellent catch and run. They threw it to him with some space, and he maximized that space with a little bit of good blocking downfield.
They got him going in motion before, Danny, and that kind of tips the quarterback off as to the coverage and kind of unsettles the defensive man trying to cover him.
Absolutely. And in a high school game like that, you see that it's harder to disguise what your intent is.
Mills rushes to the line again. They want to put the pressure on here with a fast-moving offense. And here's Adkins. Adkins delivers. Jeffries almost to the 50-yard line. Close to a 1st down. It'll be 2nd and 1 from the Mills 49.
And you've seen on both of these plays that Mills hasn't asked Adkins to do as much throwing the ball in distance as Davis had to do for Jefferson on the first possession.
Yep, it's a little dink, a little dunk, a little dump off here, a dump off there. Here's Adkins. Back to throw again. Delivery to Beglitzoff.
Adkins to Beglitzoff. 1st down.
He's met by Lloyd Alelatoa right around the Jefferson 45-yard line. It'll be 1st down, Vikings.
And they don't look like dinks and dunks in the box score if they get yards after the catch, and that's what they've been doing on these plays.
Yes, sir. Mills will huddle up now. That's questionable, Danny, abandoning that no-huddle, fast-paced offense when it had resulted in 3 straight 1st down conversions.
Have to agree with that. We'll have to see how it plays out.
And there's a flag on the play. It appears that perhaps Bowie Sunga was lined up in the neutral zone.
Penalty on Jefferson.
So that'll be 5 yards for offsides. A little eager from Sunga, the nose tackle. Adkins, give to Jeffrey up the middle, and he's got a 1st down and more. He's to the 25-yard line. Taken
Jeffrey
down
on the run
by Bowie Sunga.
1st down,
but
Mills.
not in enough time to prevent Another first down for the Vikings.
And it looks like they're gonna keep playing it rapid, and they're gonna break off from the last play and come up there right now.
So quickly to the line of scrimmage. Here's Atkins. Atkins on the option. Keeper.
Atkins on the run, tackled by number 77.
About 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 4 from right around the 20-yard line.
And you can see on a play like that how difficult this offense is for the quarterback. It's just a tough read to figure out exactly what you want to do with the ball. But he did a great job there.
That's right, Danny. It looked like someone really had him in their clutches, but he was able to quickly evade and get a positive gain out of that. So here's Atkins again. And they give to Jeffrey right at the middle, into the end zone. Touchdown!
Up the middle, touchdown, Mills!
And he was untouched on that run. Good blocking and a little bit of a failure of execution in terms of Jefferson.
Absolutely untouched. It looked like there was a triple option. They had 3 guys that could potentially get the ball. Jeffrey got the ball and took it to the house.
Got a chop block on Mills.
But there's a flag on the play, and this one is coming back.
It looks like he was untouched for a reason there with a chop block apparently called.
So take that one off the board. It's still 0-0. And Mills has got to try again. So it's now 1st and about 15.
2nd down.
From the 35-yard line. Make it 2nd and 15. And another flag on the play. Looked like there was a false start. Early movement along that Mills offensive line. That's what it is. And unfortunately, Danny, for a drive that started out so well, Mills has done nothing but move backwards on the last 2 plays.
And it's going to be a challenge because
Illegal
now
motion
Jefferson understands how much
Mills.
space they have, and it looks like it was an illegal motion penalty.
Still 2nd down.
Now you've got to expect star receiver Victor Beglesov to be a part of these next couple plays, considering the space that needs to be gone on 2nd and 23 on about the 41-yard line.
Absolutely. Look for Victor Beglesov. He's at the bottom. He's in the slot, not the bottom of your screen. That's Jeff Zapata at the bottom, and then Victor Beglesov in the slot. Here's Atkins looking that way. He's got Beglesov wide open.
Atkins Beglesov
at the 8-yard line. First down on a 2nd and 20. Mills converts with a play to, you called it, partner, Victor Beglesov.
He was wide open too. It was wide open too. He had a lot of space to work with. Well, it looks like they're going to line up for another play here, just keeping it going, no huddle.
Absolutely delivered from the jaws of defeat on that tough first down conversion. Now they've got a new set to work with. Here's Atkins, gives to Beglesov. He takes it around the corner, and there's another flag on the play.
Penalty.
That looks like it might have been holding on the offense, but can't be sure yet.
Right you are, Danny.
Holding Mills.
And once again, a potential success for Mills erased by mental mistakes.
And we'll have to see if they can overcome it. They already have a couple of times on this possession, and they have the talent to do it, but how many times can you strike gold when you make it harder on yourselves?
Absolutely. Well, we're about to find out, because here comes the red and gold looking to strike gold again. Atkins comes in from the sideline with the play. So do we look for Victor again?
I actually think they might surprise with a run play here. This kind of seems like one of those situations. I might look for Jeffrey here on a quick read.
All right, Jeffrey in the backfield. He's number 1. Atkins with the snap. The fake to Jeffrey. And a delivery to Ron Del Dondoy. The bull in on offense. It's a completion, and he'll be down.
Atkins to Dondoy.
Looked like he was tackled by Bonclair Matudio right around the 5-yard line.
Yeah, they're actually right about where they were when this first and goal started all those plays ago. We're seeing the replay now. fake the run, and now he's going to pass it over, and it was a beautiful
Second
little
down.
completion. Got the ball 2nd and 8, but 2nd and goal at the 8.
A fake like that, Coach always used to say, a fake is as good as a block, and it certainly got the Indians out of position there. Now here's the give to Jeffrey, right up the middle, into the end zone, touchdown, Vikings.
Antonio Jeffrey, touchdown Vikings.
And after a series of setbacks, they ended
No
up with
flags.
a very similar play to the one that they scored with the first time.
Indeed, if at first you don't succeed, Danny, try again, and in particular, just hand it to
Beckles off
Jeffrey
for the
and he'll
kick.
take it in for you.
Especially if he has that kind of space to work with and doesn't really get touched again.
So Mills will try to put the extra point on here with Victor Beglitzoff. We told you he does everything. The kick is up. It is good. And that's 7-0 Vikings over the Indians with 5:48 left in the first quarter.
Well, and as you can see on that play, we talked about with Coach Mike Krieger before the game that Beglitzoff has a legitimate leg. He said he's kicked 50-yard field goals in practice, and he's also had a couple of 60-yard punts in games, including 3 last week.
He's got a monster leg. Coach said his in-season long was 38, which is quite impressive.
Yeah.
And now he'll get a chance to kick off and potentially get it into the end zone. Coach said he gets himself a good touchback every now and then with that monster leg of his.
And the homecoming crowd is already into it. You can tell that there's a big crowd here at Mills looking for a win, looking for an
Beglitzoff to
exciting
kick
homecoming.
off for the Vikings.
Oh, everyone's having lots and lots of fun. It's Friday night in Millbrae, California, baby.
Back for Jefferson is Peninsula
So here's Beglitzoff with the kick.
and Paramore.
To return is Regal Peniza and Johnny Paramore. I don't think Victor really gave it his all there. More of a pooch kick. Picked up by Peniza. He'll take it forward to about the 30.
Peninsula on the return.
And again, with the kick being outside of the hash, like it was the last time Jefferson returned it, there wasn't a ton of blocking there, so they ended up with solid field position, but not remarkable field position considering where the kickoff landed.
That's what Mills does, Danny. They call audibles on their kickoffs. They have targeted kickoffs. And so far it's worked to good effect, although we're early in this game, still over 5 minutes left in the first quarter. So here come the Indians looking to answer after Mills drove down and scored a touchdown. It's the option. Davis pitched to Peniza. And the Mills are all over him. That was Jefta Zapata swarming to the ball, leaving
Peninsula
no
on
space
the run
and a loss
Jeffrey on the
of
tackle.
about 7 yards. It'll be 2nd and 18.
And when you have a play smelled out like that, like Mills
Loss
did,
of yardage.
even if he had a little bit of space in front of him, he still got chased down because he just didn't have the space or the speed to get there.
There was some real hunger there from the Mills defenders as they swarmed to that ball. So here's the Indians on 2nd down. What are they going to dial up here?
Mills, the players are close to the line of scrimmage despite it being a pass down.
There's a blitz by Mills, a delivery to Peniza. Ooh, and a big hit by number 2,
Qual Davis to
Jaime Alfaro, the linebacker,
tackle by
when you have-
Alfaro.
put a big hit on Peniza there
When
to
you-
shut down that play. Sorry, Danny.
Go ahead, and when you have a chance to get a running back like that early in the game, you make him think about it. Make him worry a little bit, and he's going to the sideline, but definitely a clean hit. So
Absolutely. That's just football right there.
Absolutely.
3rd down now from the 26. Here's Davis back to throw. And he'll keep it up the middle, find some room.
Qual Davis
A
on the
nice
run.
block by Ronald Tom. Gave him a little extra space there. It will not be enough to convert the first down, but they almost made it, Danny.
Yeah, they
4th
did
down.
excellent. I didn't expect when the play kind of broke down and Davis ended up running. I did not expect him to get that far, but they made this interesting.
I'll tell you, that was a sweet block by Tom coming back to free that and get them that extra yards and give them this opportunity now. Looks like they're going to go for it on 4th down.
And they only need 3, and they might have some hope because they just got 10. So we'll see if they can pull it off.
And Mills swarming to the line, showing blitz. They run right up the middle.
Qual Davis on the run.
A little bit of strongman football there, Danny, and I don't think they made it.
Appears to be short.
Yeah, it looks like they maybe got 1 yard, and when you're looking for 3, that is just not enough.
We may have a
Called
measurement
for a
here.
measurement.
Nope, they don't need a measurement. It's a first down for Mills.
Big stop
Not even.
on 4th down.
Mills ball.
After the Indians made it interesting, Mills put the clamps down. And, you know, when you run up the middle like that, what you're really saying is, I'm tougher than you are. I'm stronger than you are. And Mills said, nope, we're tougher. We're stronger. Give us the ball.
And it was interesting that it didn't even look like they were trying to spread out Mills there. They were just said, we'll try to beat you up the middle, and they made a good effort for it, but did not have enough there.
But that can also send a good message to the team from Coach Vega, the Indians coach, because he trusts his guys. He's got faith in them to make that kind of strong man play.
And we should also note that Coach Vega is a Mills graduate, so it's an alumni versus school matchup here.
But his loyalties are completely secure for Jefferson, no question.
Despite it being homecoming, absolutely.
So here's Adkins with the give to Jeffrey, and he's around to the right, makes a man miss, makes another man miss, and he'll be down
Jeffrey
at the 30-yard
run.
line. It'll be 2nd and 2.
That was a beautiful
Second
job by
down.
Jeffrey getting through contact, and even at the end, as he was getting tackled, he got an extra 2 yards just by turning and stretching.
That kid can sure make some plays, Danny. And here's Mills right to the line again. Jeff to Zapata in motion. The pitch to Jeffrey. Zapata out to block. And he
Jeffrey
makes
on
the
the
first
carry.
down. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Vikings.
First down, Mills.
At about the 26-yard line of Jefferson.
And Mills has been moving so quickly, we haven't had the chance to tell you that we were talking with their head coach earlier, who's also their offensive coordinator, talking about how they designed a new offense around their new junior quarterback.
Yeah. He said, Coach, I want to run the spread. And Coach said, I've always run the pro set offense. And Marquise Atkins said, I'll prove it to you, Coach, and he did. And here comes some more proof right now. And a fumbled snap.
Got a fumble.
Is it recovered by Jefferson?
Haven't
We'll have to
seen-
wait for the refs to make a call here. And it is Jefferson ball on the
Fumble by
fumbled
Mills.
snap.
Jefferson
and Danny, that's one of those
recovered.
dangers of running that shotgun spread offense. You got to have that quarterback center snap exchange work clearly.
And you only have one running back in the backfield, so if it makes it a little bit and then dies, you don't have as many people there to try to pick it up.
Absolutely.
But there it went far before the quarterback, so that would have been a tough play for any player on Mills to get.
Well, after a little bit of adversity for Jefferson, now a gift. Let's see what the Indians can do with it.
And we'll see if the old truism with football of following up a turnover with an attempt for a big play comes through here with Jefferson. They certainly have the horses to do it.
If that's so, look for the wide receivers. That's Blandino at the top of your screen, Matudio and Paramore at the bottom. Now here's Blandino in motion. There was some early movement. Let's see who the flag's going to be on. It'll be a false
Got a
start
penalty on Jefferson.
on the Indians. So
Illegal
there you
motion.
go, Danny. They get a gift and they immediately turn around with a mental mistake.
That's been kind of in some ways the story of the game for both teams, but Mills has gotten through it a little bit better than Jefferson has, and that's why they're leading 7-0 with 2:25 to go in the first quarter.
So 1st and 15. Here's Davis. Damari Davis delivers over the middle. A high throw, almost picked off, almost caught by Johnny Paramore, and then almost picked off by Joshua Sved.
And again, we saw Davis he had the
Pass
right
incomplete.
read. He threw it to the right player, but it was just a little bit high. And when you throw it a little bit high, it's tough for these receivers to get it. Paramore did a nice job trying to get it, but it just wasn't in his range.
Well, I tell you, Danny, sometimes it's Friday night, you're playing under the lights, it's prime time, it's homecoming, maybe the nerves, the jitters, just releasing that throw a little bit too high.
Yeah. There was plenty of coverage there too, so we can't say the guy was wide open. But if the ball had been thrown on point, he would have caught it.
So it'll be 2nd down now and 15 for the Indians. A quick delivery to Matudio, and he is swallowed up.
Qual Davis.
Rondell
to
Dondoy was there to
Matudio.
make the play, and he was quick to the ball. He slowed Matudio down, and that allowed a whole host of others, including Marquise Adkins, to get there and make the play.
And even though the deep plays haven't produced completions yet, they have produced open receivers, so that might be something that Jefferson should consider doing more often. So they're huddling, probably looking to do a longer play, considering it's 3rd down and 15 on the 21.
Well, you know what happened last time they had 3rd and long? They had a great play and made it all the way almost to the line of scrimmage. Let's see what they do this time. Paramore in motion. Davis to throw. Now he keeps it and taken down.
Wall Davis is sacked.
That's Saleh Lungi on the sack. And Davis slow to get up. And he is shaken up from the big hit by Lungi.
And he got hit hard, and he got hit on the blind side, and that's always hard for a quarterback. You got to make sure that you're watching him on that side. Oh, he looks like he's limping.
The star sophomore quarterback for the Indians, and this is bad news. This is bad news, Danny. Ivan Gomez, Johnny Paramore, and Ramel Narag there to try to help him out. Looks like he couldn't even make it up the field, and so we're going to have a break in the action here.
We have a Jefferson player on the ground.
Let's go ahead and do that.
The Mills girls varsity tennis team clinched the championship today. They are the undefeated Ocean Division champions. The Mills boys water polo team plays Tuesday.
Well, we have a break in the action here
for the Ocean Division.
Due to these unfortunate circumstances, let's bring you the offensive starters for Jefferson.
Mills boys are 12-0.
Across the front, it's Ivan Gomez, Enrique Godinez, listed as number 9, but they said they were going to change that number. Teodoro Calvario is the center. Bowie Sunga is the right guard, and Ronald Tom is the right tackle. Then the backfield, we've got Damari Davis, whom you've seen. He's off the field now and ready to go. Regil Paniza is the running back, and Kyrie Sampson is the fullback. Then the wide receivers, of course, Dominic Blandino, we've heard from him, and Johnny Paramore. Ramel Narag is the tight end, and as you've seen, they'll sub in Bonclair Matudio and Joseph Deffenbaugh as receivers as well.
And as we talked about earlier in the game, Jefferson has the benefit in these unfortunate circumstances of having a former quarterback in Blandino, and we'll have to see if hopefully Davis can come back, but if he can't, they have Blandino to hopefully pick up some of the slack.
Good call, Danny. And it's a high snap over the head of Blandino, and he's in the end zone. It will be a safety if they get him, but they don't. Now he's to the 10-yard line, tackled just past the 10 by guess who, Rondell Dondoy. And Mills will get the ball in excellent field position after that botched snap.
Here we go. Here's the first play. Number 1 has it. It's hard to see.
Antonio Jeffrey.
And that's a touchdown by Jeffrey.
Vikings.
Even though some teams like to pass it after a turnover, they took it, they ran it, and they took it all the way to the house.
Incredible, partner. Just like that, it's 13-0 Mills. Execution on special teams hurting Jefferson here.
And with just 26 seconds to go in the first quarter, Mills is making a statement, and they're looking to take advantage.
Get that early advantage and ride it all the way to the finish. You know, that's what Coach Mike wants. And here's Beglitzoff to put on the extra point. The kick is good. It was 14-0. Mills over Jefferson. with 26 seconds left in the first quarter.
Mills golf legends in the house.
And something to watch on a play like that is that Jefferson actually had some players somewhat close to the block, but Begelsoff got it off in plenty of time. But you never know what will happen later in the game. If the kick gets a little bit slower, might end up being a block. Oh, we're okay. So now.
Well, after that score, Regional Peninsula and Johnny Paramore back again. Do you think Mills is going to do another one of those pooch kicks, Danny, and put it somewhere where there aren't a lot of blockers?
I think we might see them kick it out, see how far he can kick it. Nope, short.
It's a pooch. Taken by Peninsula. Here's Peninsula. Shakes a man. He's got some room. All the way to the 40-yard line. Regional Peninsula with an excellent return to give the Indians solid field position here.
And that's exactly what Jefferson should be looking for. After a rough special teams play, they turn around, they have a very strong special teams play and quality field position.
What we were asking is if you want to do the readers at some point. I believe the first reader is at the end of the first quarter.
All right, let's see what Jefferson can do with that field position. It is Blandino in at quarterback. They give to Peninsula, and he's taken down immediately. John San Jose on the tackle. And Danny, you knew this was coming, but Peninsula ran right to him. It's clear he knew the way to San Jose on that run.
First quarter.
Thank you so much.
Mills 14, Jefferson 0.
That'll be the end of the first quarter with Mills over Jefferson, 14-0. And we'll have to see, Danny, how the Indians can regroup after that quarter. Not only did they make some mistakes and pay the price, but they also lost their star sophomore quarterback to an injury, and it's unclear whether he'll be back.
It's gonna be a difficult uphill climb. They're already down 2 scores, but they do have the ball and they do have quality field position. This is going to be a pivotal possession for them.
Key drive here. Well, we'd like to give thanks to the Millbrae Chamber of Commerce for sponsoring MCTV coverage of this Peninsula Athletic League football game. The Chamber of Commerce is a nonprofit association that promotes and supports the growth of business in Millbrae. If you're interested in learning more about the Chamber, contact www.millbrae.com or call area code 650-697-7324 for more information. Thanks again to the Millbrae Chamber of Commerce.
We want to thank you viewers for tuning into the fall season of MCTV Sports. It's been a great year so far with our coverage of water polo, volleyball, and now football, and we're looking forward to a full year of exciting Mills High sports. Coming up next is the annual classic Battle of the Strip football game between PAL rivals Mills and Cappuccino. It's always a fun one with local bragging rights on the line, and Mills is hungry to avenge last year's tough loss to a good Cap team led by running back Justin Ewing. The game is November 15th, so come out if you can. If you can't make it, check www.mctv.tv for our playback times.
Thank you, Danny. And here's Johnny Paramore around the right side.
And
taken down by Christian Miranda right at the 40-yard line. Sorry, partner.
As we saw, that was another play that moved more moved more to the side, and they snuffed it out. It was a beautiful defensive play.
Good speed from the Vikings defense on those side-to-side plays right now. And it'll be third down on this critical possession. Blandino still in as quarterback. And Danny, with Blandino in as quarterback, not only have they lost their star quarterback, but they've also lost a great receiver in Blandino.
Yeah, he has less weapons to throw to than Davis did because he's not out there.
And Blandino, on a poor snap, takes it to the outside, making something of nothing. He's got a first down. Great athletic ability by Dominic Blandino. He was facing a potential loss there and a punting situation, and he rescued the Indians, and it's first down from the 50-yard line.
In some ways, the broken coverage there looked kind of like a kick return, and he has some experience handling that, so he got a little bit of a weird benefit there.
So here's the Indians on first down from midfield. Blandino back to throw. Delivers the long ball to Matudio. Almost caught by Matudio. Slipped in and out of his fingers. And Danny, you know, he had his hands on that one. He really wanted to catch it.
That was a catchable ball, and that would have been a big momentum play. We've talked about how big a possession this is, and so to be able to have a chance to move it, it looked like that was all the way down to about the 20 or the 25. That would have been a huge play for the Jefferson Indians.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda, and here's second down. Blandino back to throw again. Delivers, caught, not caught, incomplete to Kyrie Sampson, the fullback, and it will be third down for the Indians.
And you can see a crispness on the balls that Blandino's throwing. He's putting some zip on there. This isn't just a backup quarterback. This is a former starting quarterback.
A senior, former starter. He was willing to step down. He bought into coach's philosophy that every position's a competition. And, of course, he knew he was going to be getting the ball all the time as a receiver. But he's got the skills. He's got the talent. He's ready to lead the Indians here. And here he is on third down. The fake, and Blandino on the keeper. Only gets about 2 yards on the play, and it will be fourth down again.
And this is going to be a much tougher decision because they are in Mills territory, but it's going to be a much longer play than the last time. It's going to be a 4th and 8, it looks like.
And the offense is coming to the line, so guess they're going to go for it.
Keep in mind, though, that their quarterback is their punter. Oh, nope, he's going to throw it.
Blandino delivers, and a flag for pass interference as Joshua Sved was early on the play. Ramel Narag, the intended receiver.
And the defensive back, who also plays wide receiver, as much as he's contesting the call, he probably knows that he got him too early. And there's the call. It's pass interference on Mills. First down.
And how about it, Danny? On fourth down, they rolled the dice, and they got a conversion. First down, Indians.
And that's one of the benefits of throwing the ball deep is you force the defense to make challenging plays. And there's Sved. He just got there a little early. His instincts were good, but he just had it timed slightly wrong. And here we go. First down in quality territory. Blandino's going back to pass, and
he's still got it. Taken down at the line of scrimmage. It was Ryan Del Rosario and others on the tackle.
And you can see just how well Mills has done pursuing the quarterback, whoever has played quarterback, and made it very difficult to get either a run started or to get a pass to have enough time to get it off.
That Mills defense sure is swarming, Danny. They look tough. So it'll be second down for Jefferson. There's a holdup here. And an illegal formation by the Jefferson is declined.
They think it'll be easier to stop him 3 times for 8 yards than to stop him 4 times with 15, assuming they would go for it on fourth down.
That's right, since Jefferson's established that pattern here of going for it on fourth. Coach Mike says, we'll take the downs, not the yards. So it'll be second down. Blandino with a throw, too low. The intended target, Bonclair Matudio.
And it's been interesting that after shifting quarterbacks, they're actually throwing the ball more. And while that is uncommon for many teams, it makes sense in some ways given the transition between the two players, considering Davis's fluidity with the ball in terms of running and running more of a mesh offense where the quarterback has more choices to more of a, it feels like more of a traditional passing offense at points right now for Jefferson.
Right you are, and a bold call to pass on 4th down like they did. So here's Blandino, and he'll keep it, makes a man miss, and taken down by Jefta Zapata. Rondell Dondoy was the first Mills tackler who got juked.
And if you saw the way that Peninsula got hit on that play, he made an excellent decision not handing the ball off because that definitely would have been a loss. So it looks like now we have.
So it was a good read by Blandino. Then.
Absolutely. That's what you look for in a quarterback in this system.
And on 4th down again, Blandino back to throw. Evades one man and looks like he's got the first down. And again, an incredible play by Dominic Blandino to make something out of nothing and rescue the Indians on 4th down.
In some ways, for Jefferson, the best things that have happened have been in the worst situations. They've done well on broken plays. They've done well on messed up protections. They've done an excellent job at scrambling, and maybe they should try to manufacture that more in other circumstances.
Kind of fits what Coach Vega was saying, how sure, there's struggles here, but there's also a lot of bright spots, a lot of things to build on. You can see it as they play. For every step backwards, there's a step forward to give you some confidence, give you something to build on.
Absolutely, and you hope that the steps back don't include things like the special teams mistake, because when you have things like that, you need a lot of steps forward to make up for the field position that Mills got on a play like that.
Absolutely.
So it looks like they're on about the 20-yard line here. It's going to be a 1st down, 1st and 10, with 9:24 remaining in the 2nd quarter.
Well, we have a timeout here, Danny, and going back to that situation with Damari Davis and Dominic Blandino, it's funny how things work out. Blandino did everything right. He was a good team player. He stepped back and let Davis come in, but you know what? Sometimes you never know when your number's going to get called, and it's got called here, and he's made some plays. Here's the give to Peninsula right up the middle. It'll be a gain of about 2. 2nd and 8 from the Mills 18-yard line.
And now they're taking a page out of the playbook and going no huddle.
Yes, sir. Doesn't deliver it off to Peninsula. Instead, he'll keep it and taken down with the shoestring tackle
with the tackle on
by Jaime Alfaro. Nice tackle there to prevent a big play from happening.
And a reminder that even though Jefferson has done an excellent job on broken plays, sometimes they're just broken. And again, no huddle, seeing what they can do.
So here's Blandino, back to throw. Looking for Matudio, it's caught. Complete at the 15-yard line of Mills. It'll be a gain of about 3.
In terms of structure and in terms of the pass, that was one of the best all-around plays that Jefferson has run all night. And it got one of their first quality gains on a pass play that was actually completed.
So it'll be 4th and 4 for Jefferson. And no surprise here, the Indians will be going for it on 4th down.
Actually, yeah.
So here's Blandino on 4th down. Let's see if he makes another great play. Delivery to Sampson. Sampson's caught, and it'll be a 1st down, 1st and goal for the Indians.
Blandino to Sampson.
Sampson all the way to the Mills 4-yard line.
We saw a similar play to that to Begosoff earlier in the game,
Jefferson.
except that Begosoff was in motion, just creating creating space and just getting the 1st down. Got almost 10 yards on that.
So yet another 4th down conversion for these hardy, plucky Jefferson Indians. They don't seem to give up, Danny. And now a busted play. Blandino keeps it.
Blandino on the carry.
It looks like he was a little bit short of the end zone
Tackled
there.
by Del Rosario.
Not sure if we have a replay of this, but it appeared that Peninsula went left when Blandino was expecting him to go right. And I think you can chalk that squarely up to the fact that Blandino wasn't the starting quarterback coming in here. They may not be on the same page with all the plays called.
And we don't even know if they'll be able to get there over the course of this game. Hopefully you have Davis back this game. And
Blandino back to throw, and he loses the ball. Now he's taken down
Blandino.
by Marquise Adkins, quarterback to quarterback on the tackle.
By Marquise
And once
Atkins.
again, Jefferson facing some adversity.
And that time, Blandino's experience as a kick returner did not help him get extra yards on the play with the coverage.
I don't know, Danny. It looked like he just brought the ball back and it just slipped out of his hands.
I didn't get a good enough look, but that definitely sounds possible.
So here's Blandino on third down, and the pass is low, intended for Bonclair Matudio. And here we go again, Danny. Fourth down for the Jefferson Indians, but they're close enough that they might consider kicking this one, don't you think?
They very well might. And that was another example of possibly having poor communication because the receivers weren't ready for the ball when it came. Maybe they were expecting a longer route considering how far they have to go to get to the end zone.
And there'll be a timeout here by Jefferson.
And that was their first timeout so far, so they have 2 remaining, and so now each team has 2 remaining timeouts. We have 6:43 left in the quarter.
I think earlier our cameras had some shots of Damari Davis on the sidelines. What do you think? You think he's coming back in this game?
The way that he was moving, he was trying his hardest to get off the field, and he couldn't get off the field. And when you're having trouble getting off the field, it's hard for me to think you can get on that quickly.
So even more adversity for the Jefferson Indians, who on the other hand have been staring down adversity in the face. And after saying all that, look who's on the field. Number 3, he of the yellow sock, the yellow tape, is back. Damari Davis making his return. Very impressive from the young sophomore.
And I'm extremely happy to be wrong.
But look at this, Danny. Davis lining up as a wide receiver. And Blandino still in there at quarterback. So looks like they were trying to protect Davis a little. And here's a flag.
We'll have to see how well he moves. Maybe that's part of the challenge. I cannot remember which one of his legs he hurt, but it's possible that it won't be as big of a downside.
Illegal motion on Jefferson. Still fourth down.
Another mental mistake penalty for the Jefferson Indians. Danny, they keep hurting themselves.
And when you do it on things like illegal motion, that's even more of an unforced error than when you do it on a false start because that's something that can be corrected.
So here's Blandino. Davis at the bottom of your screen. They're throwing at him.
Blandino
Actually,
to Matudio, incomplete.
Matudio, the intended
Mills
receiver
ball.
there. No completion, and it will be a turnover on downs. It was just 1 fourth down too many for Jefferson.
And the receivers crossed each other, and while throwing it in the middle of the X can work when that's where the receivers are, when they've already gone their separate ways, it's bad to throw it right in between them because neither one of them could have caught that ball. You can see
That's right, Danny. Even I couldn't even tell who it was intended for, Davis or Matudio. That's how equidistant it was.
And now you see Atkins coming back on the field, trying to get another score to get this homecoming crowd happy before halftime.
With 6 minutes and change left, plenty of time for the Mills Vikings and their high-speed, fast-paced offense. So here's Atkins. Back to throw. Delivery to J.P. Sanchez right over the middle, and he's still going. That's close to a first down. In fact, I believe it is a first down for Mills, right about the 32-yard line.
And while the modus operandi for Mills so far has been a catch and run, that was more of a catch. He didn't get as many yards after the catch, but when you get a first down, it doesn't really matter.
And J.P. Sanchez is a big target, number 88, right over the middle. Harder to miss him. Easier to throw those longer passes to someone with that kind of size.
Yeah, in some ways that looked more like a Jefferson play than what Mills has done so far, but what works, works. They have 3.
So here's Atkins again on first down.
They have 3 receivers on the same side right now.
Trips formation for the Vikings. Let's see if they look that way. They give it to Beglitzoff right over the middle, and he's still going. He's to the 30, 30 to the 20. He's at the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Vikings!
Touchdown, Mills!
And you can see on that play just why they say he's their star. He had space, he maximized that space, and he scored. Beautiful, beautiful play.
They had a little bit of that run after the catch like you were talking about on that one, didn't they, Danny?
Absolutely, and that's what you see when a guy can play receiver, when a guy's a linebacker, he plays all over the field. You get that flexibility, you get that explosion. And now, with still 6 minutes left in the game, we could see more from Mills before halftime.
Put the ball in his hands, and something special's gonna happen.
And you know it's something fun when the receiver does a long catch and run like that, and then he still has to kick the extra point.
That's right. Your job's not finished yet, Victor. And the kick easily clears the crossbar. Make it 21-0. Mills all over the Indians early in this game.
Yep. Begelsoff gets the 6, and then he gets the 1. He's just a triple threat out there.
He does everything for Coach Krieger. That's why Coach Krieger loves him. He even expects that Begelsoff could easily make a D2 or D3 NCAA football program. Got a chance to make a D1 NCAA football program, and I believe it. Coach was telling us about how he worked hard over the offseason. Isn't that right, Danny?
Absolutely, and while he gets the headlines and the graphics, we have to talk about the great pass that Adkins threw there. That he got the ball to him in space and allowed that play to happen. If a worse throw there would have been either an incompletion or a tackle, and they would have had a good 60 yards more to score, 50, 60 yards. That was a long catch and run.
Right you are, Danny. What an excellent delivery by the junior Marquise Adkins for Coach Krieger and these Mills Vikings.
And you can see why they went to an offense that, while it has spread principles, involves a lot of throwing, because if you can make those throws, you can be a part of that offense, and it's another unusual kick.
The targeted kickoff game for Mills continues. Peninsula picked it up around the 30 and brought it to about the 40. The 43, it'll be first down for Jefferson as they try to make something positive happen here in the last 6 minutes of this half.
I hope at least once during this game we actually get to see Begelsoff take it and see if he can get it in the end zone for a touchback, but they've been doing it. I guess they've been happy with the results, even though they've been getting the ball. Jefferson's been getting the ball about the 30, 35, 40 range.
So here's the Indians to the line again, and it is Blandino at quarterback and Davis out wide at the bottom of your screen. Blandino back to throw, and he's got pressure. Delivers the ball to Davis, open! Just a little over his head, could not make the completion, but Davis had a step. I'd say his legs are feeling okay.
Yeah, he had the space to do it. He just didn't have a throw that could get to him. So you got to feel encouraged by the athletic progress, but you've got to be a little bit. But it looks like he's not moving perfectly. So he might have produced it there, but now looks like he's going off the field.
I'll tell you, these kids, Danny, they give it their all. They're so dedicated.
And you have
Pain is no obstacle. They go out there and leave everything on the field. This is what high school football is all about, baby.
And you've got to respect a guy giving exactly what he could. If they didn't feel comfortable with him at quarterback, he played as a wide receiver and gave it his all.
And here's another procedural penalty. Looked like there was early movement from the defensive line that time.
We'll have to see if he was induced.
Offside, Mills.
And he was not. It was offsides.
It was offsides. Amin Alizé. A little over eager on that one.
Alizé's had great anticipation so far in this game. That time he was just a little early.
And Peninsula swallowed up by a horde of Vikings. That's happened throughout history as well. It'll be a loss of yards.
On the carry.
Third down and about 8.
There was a nice job following up on that play by John San Jose. There were a lot of tacklers in there, but they all did a great job making sure that Peninsula got down.
That swarming Vikings defense sure making it difficult for the Indians in this one.
Absolutely.
So let's see what Blandino dials up on third down. Davis back in there. Now he goes in motion. Blandino looking that way. There's pressure. They can't get him. And it's caught by Johnny Paramore right over the middle for a first down. What a play, Danny. Surviving the pressure and making something out of nothing. This Blandino can work some magic.
Absolutely, and they helped created some space actually with Davis by stretching out and moving out, and that created a little bit of an opening to get in there and get a nice catch. I still noticed a little bit of a hitch in Davis's giddy up, but it's impressive that he's still out there.
You know these kids, they want to win, and they'll do everything they can to win. Here's Blandino. More pressure by Begelsoff on the sack. Boy, this kid does everything. Bringing down Blandino. the speed, the acceleration, and he got his man there.
Absolutely, and Coach Krieger said that they weren't going to use Beglitzoff that much on defense because they wanted to preserve him for the other phases of the game. But when he's in there, he does a very good job. You saw it right there. He plays linebacker when he's in there.
Hard to take the guy off the field when all he does is make great play after great play. Isn't that right, Danny?
Absolutely, but we've already seen in this game what happens when you rely heavily on a couple of guys if they're hurt. So you need to make sure that you maximize the plays that they're on there.
So here's Blandino. Davis at the bottom of your screen. The give to Peniza. Peniza up the middle for a gain of about 3.
Oh.
And was there a fumble? There's been no whistle. Let's see what the refs make of this.
Here's to a fumble. Mills.
It looks like there was a recovery by Mills.
Okay, can the home
And once again,
the homecoming
just when it looks like things are looking up for Jefferson, a huge turnover, and Mills takes over with excellent field position on Jefferson's 30-yard line.
And just when Jefferson's offense looked the best that they've looked, they were executing not on broken plays, but on actually what they wanted to do. And Peniza had a nice run, broke a couple tackles, and then he just lost control of the ball. It looks like we haven't had a clean look at it, but that's exactly the type of play they're hoping to avoid when you're trying to get a little momentum right before the halftime bell.
They talk about those 4 points of pressure, Danny, to secure the football. I think he needed more pressure there. So here's Mills, led by Marquise Adkins, the junior. And he fakes the run, delivers to Beglitzoff once again, touchdown!
Oh, looks like he might have been just short.
Oh. I got so used to Beglitzoff taking it into the end zone. It'll be just short, 1st and goal for the Vikings.
And now they'll have plenty of options because they have lots of time, so that's not going to be a factor, and they can go anywhere in the field. They've done a better job when they've had receivers spread out all over the field, though, than when they've gone more stacked in the center, though Jeffrey has done an excellent job in this game.
Good point, Danny, but with this fast-paced Mills offense, I'm not sure they need all that time.
No, they certainly don't, but they did take a huddle there, so we'll have to see if that works out, because generally speaking, they've done better in the no huddle so far.
So here's Adkins on 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. They're passing from the 2-yard line. Delivery to J.P. Sanchez, and it's incomplete. Could not hold on. Sanchez, who also appears to be shaken up on the play.
He very well might have landed on the ball there. I don't see it for sure, but that could be a possibility of what happened.
Well, the trainer's stretching him out. Looks like a leg cramp.
That's true.
Got to get that potassium, Danny. Got to stay hydrated. That's a shame. He was wide open, whether from the cramp or from external forces, could not make that completion.
And it looks like they're bringing other people out to look at him, so we'll have to see if he can make it back and to see how Mills can handle another stretch of adversity for them.
I got to say, Danny, it was kind of surprising to see Mills run on see Mills pass instead of run on 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. That's a bold call, but Adkins has been throwing it well, so I guess they decided to put it in his hands again.
And Sanchez had space to operate there, and he could have caught that ball. So you've got to acknowledge the credit for that. And they have 3 more downs if they want to run it. They can run it in there. That won't be a problem. So now we see that they're huddling. Sanchez is safely off the field. It looks like he's moving reasonably well. And they've broken their huddle, and now they're getting back to the line. So we'll have to see if they go the more traditional route and run the ball, or if they're going to pass it again. They certainly have the horses to do either.
They got plenty of options, plenty of receivers for Adkins to choose from, but I got a feeling he's looking for number 12. Here's Christian Miranda in motion. Let's see if they give it to him. They do. Caught by Christian Miranda in the end zone. There's the touchdown. Once again, they went with the pass, Danny, and it paid off.
Absolutely, and as we've seen from Mills, one of their hallmarks in this game has been passing to the motion man. They've done an excellent job of that. Some teams use that to create diversions. They're using it to create space and generate both scoring opportunities and first downs.
And Danny, you'll expect, though, that if the defense adjusts and starts playing that motion man a little more securely, then it will be something for diversion, and they'll go a different direction.
Absolutely. If the guy's open, they can use it. If the guy is not open, then you look for somebody else in the space.
So here's Beglitzoff to put on another capping extra point, and it's good. And it is all Vikings here in the first half with 3:47 left to play.
And with another possession, we'll have a chance to see whether Jefferson can bring back Davis as their quarterback, or whether Blandino is going to get another shot to show why he should be considered for the starting role.
You have to think, Danny, with this sort of a deficit, they're going to want to throw the ball. They're probably going to give it to Blandino, who's had some crisp throws tonight, we've seen.
Absolutely. Both of them have had quality throws, but I think Blandino's been a little bit more precise, and he's been closer on the throws that they've needed to make. So what do you think we'll get on the kickoff here? Do you think we're going to get a little lateral one again, or do you think we're going to get a full force kick all the way deep?
I don't think we've reached the point in the game where they're going to abandon their strategy of reading the defensive formation and specifically targeting a type of kickoff. Perhaps in the second half, they might start kicking away, but I think we can expect another little pooch kick by Beglitzoff here.
And as we're looking at the safety of the kids, it is also, when you kick it to the side and you do something like that, there is a little bit less risk of a collision that could injure
Antonio Jeffrey, not in formation, makes a late entrance, fashionably late. And here's the pooch taken by Ronald Tom, the lineman, and Tom gets it to the 35-yard line.
Return.
That's always nice. As a former lineman myself, I can say it's great to get your hands on the football.
I was too small to be a lineman, but I can appreciate the sentiment. And we're looking to see who the quarterback's going to be. Both quarterbacks are on the field, but it looks like Blandino's the one running the huddle, and Davis is going out as a receiver.
That's right, Danny. Let's see if Jefferson comes out gunning to try to put something on the board before halftime. Here's the throw. Blandino complete to Ramel Narag. Ramel Narag swallowed up by Jefta Zapata, and very little running room there. It'll be second down and 10.
That was a play that moved a lot more laterally than moved vertically, and that's been a problem on many plays for Jefferson so far.
So Jefferson quickly to the line of scrimmage again. Let's see what Coach Vega calls on this one. Another pass. Here comes Rondell Dondoy, bringing the speed, but evaded by Blandino, and he makes something out of nothing with a gain of about 8 yards.
Looks like it's going to be third and short, another tough play call decision for Jefferson. And they're going no huddle again.
Davis is still on the field. You can see him at the bottom of your screen. Checks to make sure he's not offsides. Now Blandino looking at Davis. And the throw not anywhere near the intended receiver. Good coverage there by Joshua Sved.
The toughest man on Mills played some tough coverage there, and the throw wasn't tight enough to get in the middle of it.
Fourth down.
So now it really is a tough call here. Fourth down. We know they're going to go for it. Do you think it'll be a run, or do you think they're going to dial up another pass? They've passed every play on this series so far.
I think given what Blandino's done, I think they're going to try a pass, but I would not be surprised at all if it ends up in a run with some Mills pressure up the middle or from the side if they have some good rushers there. And it looks like they might on the offense's left side this time.
And it looks like Davis is not on the field. The delivery to Kyrie Sampson, it's complete. Hit hard by Joshua Sved, who brings it pound for pound.
Sampson.
However, it appears
It looks like
that
a
it was
first down.
enough for a first down. So the Jefferson Indians staying alive here, keeping their hopes alive as we run down time.
First
2
down,
minutes and
Jefferson.
48 seconds left in the first half.
And just enough works when it's fourth down.
Here's Blandino to throw again. Evades more pressure. There's pressure on every play. And this time they get to him. It's
Sack.
guess who? The Bull,
Rondell
Dondoy. He has been in the backfield seemingly on every play, Danny.
Absolutely, and when you play with 5 linebackers on many plays, you can expect some of them to be rushing, and when Dondoy's been rushing, he's been in the backfield, and when he's been in the backfield, he has made plays.
He's causing all sorts of havoc back there. Sometimes Blandino's been able to escape, and other times, like we just saw, he hasn't. So here's Blandino again. Evades, and the ball's on the ground. It's a fumble, recovered by Mills. Another turnover,
Mills ball.
and the Vikings will have another shot here. It was John San Jose who knew the way to that fumble recovery.
That he did, and Mills gets another chance to get a touchdown and move the margin to more than 30 with 2 minutes to go. Actually, 2 minutes and 2 seconds if we're going to be exact, with 2 timeouts. In a no-huddle offense, that's plenty of time.
And if you're Jefferson here, this is a crucial defensive stand, Danny. At the very least, you got to hold them to a field goal here.
You have to hold them to a field goal, but I think they've had enough quality plays that they could hold them to absolutely nothing, because they still need to get some yardage to get into decent field goal range.
But someone's got to defend big number 12. He's in the slot on the upper half of your screen. Let's see if Adkins looks that way.
I think we
Here's
might
Adkins.
see a run. Nope.
Well, they're going to throw. Gives it to Beglitzoff. No defenders are near him. It's a first down. He's going all the way untouched. And another touchdown for the Mills Vikings. They are pouring it on here on homecoming night, Danny.
And it's nice to have a senior who's Mr. Everything for the team show why he's the guy who gets all the attention, the guy who might end up playing in college.
But his job's not done. Get back there and kick, Victor.
Absolutely, and he's done a good job of that so far. The holds have been good and the snaps have been good for Mills so far, and that's one thing that can be perilous in a high school game like this.
You know, normally in football, the kickers don't really have as much legitimacy or credibility, but this guy, how can you deny him?
Absolutely.
And good
And the
again.
kick is good.
It is 35 to
Mills,
nothing
35, Jefferson.
with a minute and 50 seconds left in the second quarter.
And we've seen that especially once Mills got the momentum after a rough possession or two, since then they put their foot on the accelerator and they have not let go. And when you have an athletic advantage, as it looks that they have, especially with Davis not being able to play quarterback, that's exactly what you need to do in high school football.
You talk about putting your foot on the accelerator. Mills is passing on first and goal from the 2-yard line. They're passing when there's 2 minutes left in the half and they could just run out the clock. They're really trying to go for the kill here early in this game.
Absolutely, and when you also have the pressure of homecoming in a packed house at your home stadium, you don't even want to send them home happy. You want them to be happy by halftime.
So another pooch kick upcoming from the senior Victor Beglitzoff.
We'll see if it's to the same side as it's been each time. And hey,
He actually put some leg into that one. It's caught by Johnny Paramore at the 15-yard line. He's up to the 35 and makes it to about the 36-yard line. And Jefferson will start out from there.
And after a quality kick by Beglitzoff, it's interesting to see that the field position is about the same as it was before. Between the 35 and the 40, that's been the Jefferson standard so far.
And looks like there will be an official timeout here as one of the Vikings is slow to get up. That's number 51, John San Jose, who recovered the fumble on the previous Jefferson possession.
And while not a starter, he's been in on offense on a couple plays too, I've noticed. And when you have a team like they have at Mills right now, there are a lot of guys who are playing both ways because of the number of guys they have on their team.
That's right, Danny. Talking to Coach, there's been about half a dozen or more players who've gone down to injury, a couple more who are ineligible, and a lot of these troopers on here on both teams playing Ironman football, playing both ways.
That's right. Originally on this team they had about 28, 29 players, and now they're down to 20 active. And when you have 20 active, that's not even enough for a full team in practice.
Correct. Now here's Blandino. The ball is tipped, almost caught on the deflection by Ramel Narag. Boy, what a play that would have been. However, it's incomplete, and second down and 10 for the Indians.
And that certainly looked to be a catchable ball, so that's got to be frustrating for Jefferson when they throw a ball that can be caught and it is not caught.
You know Coach Vega wants to see crisper execution on those pass plays on both ends, quarterback to receiver.
Absolutely.
Let's see if he can get that crisper execution on this second down play. Davis telling Matudio where to line up. He's still the quarterback, and it's an option. Blandino with the keeper. Gets some good yardage, almost to the first down yard line.
Yeah, it looks like maybe about 2 yards short. It's kind of hard to tell from this angle, but it was a quality run by Blandino.
And after throwing over and over again with Blandino, Blandino shows that he can run a little of that option athletic running quarterback offense too.
Absolutely. It looks like it's going to be about third and 1, 3rd and 2 here on a right near midfield, and that gives them enough space. There's a minute left. They can push it if they get a chance here.
So here's Blandino, Matudio in motion, and another option. Here's the pitch to Peninsula. Peninsula unable to find any room, and it will be a loss of yardage. They went back to the well, they tried it again, and this time the Vikings were ready.
And when you see a play like that, where when the guy catches it on the pitch, the defenders are already sizing him up in his own backfield, that's a dangerous sign for an offense.
So we'll have a timeout here by Mills, their second called timeout of the half.
And considering how high octane their offense has been so far, maybe they're hoping to score one more time.
32 seconds seems like enough time from what we've seen tonight, Danny.
Yeah, if you want to sweep the leg, sweep the leg. Not meant, obviously, for Davis, for his sensitivity for his condition.
Well, Davis has been out there
looking beautiful
and playing tough and playing hard. I think you ask every guy down there in a red jersey, they got a lot of respect for number 3 in white.
And it's gonna be fascinating to see what Jefferson does on this play, because their quarterback is their punter.
That's right, Blandino back there. Could it be a fake? He'll kick it. Jeffrey back to return. He'll just let this one roll. Safe play by Antonio Jeffrey.
Punt, no return.
That was a quality kick by
Mills
Blandino.
ball.
It got plenty of bounce, and it got exactly what they needed out of it.
So we saw for the first time Blandino punt in this game. Up till this point, Jefferson had always gone for it on 4th down. But here with 23 seconds left in the half, I think they're just hoping to keep Mills from scoring again and take it into halftime.
Interestingly enough, I believe they actually did punt once before, but it was at the beginning of the game before there was any score. So they haven't since the game has gotten more out of control. They've been going for it on 4th down, and that's exactly what you would expect in a game like this.
Good call, partner.
So now, considering everything, it seems unlikely with 24 seconds that we will see much more than a couple of runs, if that, from Mills, even though they do still have one timeout.
Or Adkins to Beglitzoff over the middle for 80 yards. Let's see what happens. They're throwing it. Delivery to Sved. Sved has a blocker. That's Lawrence Wong.
Atkins to Sved.
And Sved makes it almost to the 40-yard line. It'll be a first down for Mills. Let's see. They call a timeout.
15 seconds to go.
Looks like Mills is hungry for more, Danny.
Absolutely. It's going to take a lot considering they don't have any more timeouts. It's going to be hard to get a nice play and get into even what would be considered field goal range, but if they want to get one more and get out of bounds and then go for it, they can do that.
And remember, the big man, number 12, Victor Beglitzoff, he of the big leg as well, he's kicked 50-yarders in practice, so maybe they're not too far away from where they need to be.
Yeah, it'll be tough for a slot receiver to get enough yards and get out of bounds, but if anybody can do it, it's Victor.
And meanwhile, for Jefferson, just want to keep everything in front of you, prevent anyone from going out of bounds, make sure you tackle them and get them down before they can stop the clock.
Absolutely, you just keep it in the field of play, and if it's in the field of play, that'll be the last play in the half. The refs are encouraging Mills to get back on there as the Jefferson players are already lined up for the next play. And here we go.
So let's see what Coach Mike dials up here for his Mills Vikings offense. It'll be first down from the 37. And it's a reverse to Beglitzoff. But Ramel Narag was right there, then he makes a miss. Beglitzoff still going. Dishes Paramore, and he'll take it all the way to the house. Touchdown! Guess who? Victor Beglitzoff.
His time expires.
And next week, when people are talking about this game, they'll be talking about how he did it on the ground and he did it as a receiver. Impressive play.
And he did it with his leg.
And he did it with his leg, though they've only been extra points so far.
Victor Beglitzoff putting on a show, this time on the reverse. Ramel Narag potentially had him in the backfield, couldn't make the tackle, and from that point on, it was all Beglitzoff.
And it's also worth noting that he had a chance to get out of bounds with a little bit of time left to do one more play. It looked like about the 25 or 30-yard line. He opted to stay in, to cut back, and to get all the way to the end zone.
It was a gamble, but a gamble that paid off for the big man.
And it looks like it's going to stay at 41 instead of 42. It was hard to tell whether it was a mistake on the snap, but that's going to end at 41-0.
Jefferson 0.
All right, well, we'll end the first half then, and it is 41-0, the Vikings over the Indians. As we mentioned, this is the homecoming game for Mills High School this year, so there are a lot of activities and festivities that happen around this time. We are very lucky to have a great video created by the students of the Advanced Art of Video class here at Mills High School to show you what homecoming is all about. Check this out.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars?
Welcome back to the second half here. Mills Vikings versus the visiting Jefferson Indians, and so far it's been all Vikings. It's 41-0. Would have been 42 except for that botched snap on that last field goal, Danny.
Yeah, and it hasn't been as lopsided as the score, but it's been pretty close. And you've seen that the difference in the game has been that when given a little bit of an opening, Mills has taken that and pushed it as far as they could. And you can see that from the Mills totals.
That's right, Mills. Let's look at their offensive total stats here. In rushing, they put up 143 yards, but in passing, 223 yards, many of them to their dynamic receiver, Victor Beglitzoff.
You bet, and we'll see if we can get some stats on that. And also, Mills has had a pretty solid game when they've been able to get their execution.
And defensively, Mills has been good too. You can take a look at these stats for the Jefferson Indians. Only 48 yards passing and 129 yards rushing, but Mills kept them pretty bottled up.
Absolutely, and Blandino has thrown a pretty decent ball out there, but he hasn't been able to get the ball to the receivers and get them in space, which is what Mills has done so well, especially with Victor Beglitzoff.
And speaking of which, here is the man himself. What a star, what a performance he's put on today. Almost 200 yards receiving in the first half alone, almost 100 yards rushing in the first half alone. Add to that, 2 touchdowns and 5 extra points. All the scoring goes through this guy.
It does, and also you've seen Jeffrey have 2 nice rushes for touchdowns, so it's not just Beglitzoff, he's just been the best piece they've had.
Yes, sir. Well, it looks like we're about ready to get the second half started off here. It'll be Mills returning.
And in case they needed the ball again, they've got it right now.
That Mills offense will be back at work in just a moment. So Blandino to kick off. Back to return are Joshua Sved and Antonio Jeffrey. And here we go. The second half is underway, and it's a squib kick. Sved is going to not let it go out of bounds. He'll pick it up at the 15-yard line, take it to about the 28.
Blandino with the kick, and Sved on the return.
Interesting decision there, Danny. He chose not to let that roll out of bounds. He chose to make a play.
And it's interesting that as much scoring as we've seen this game, that was actually the first kickoff by Jefferson in the entire game.
And I wonder, Danny, if that squib kick was intentional or perhaps just a booted kick by Blandino.
It went far enough that it seems like it wasn't necessarily meant to be an onside kick, but it might have intended to be done along the ground, which is exactly what happened.
So here's that Mills offense back and ready to roll. They've got trips wideouts again at the bottom of your screen. In the slot is Beglitsov. JP Sanchez to the outside. Pressure on Adkins, and the throw is low, intended for Antonio Jeffrey.
And as we've seen so much with Jefferson, when you get pressure, the quarterback doesn't make as good of a throw. And even there, though that was going to be a catch and run, the guy has to be able to catch the ball in order to run with it, and there the ball was just short.
Good pressure there by the Jefferson defense. That was Bowie Sunga and Rico Solomon putting pressure on Adkins and forcing that incompletion.
And he just didn't have the space to work. He couldn't get his feet set and couldn't get a throw out there to even the short distance that he wanted to throw out there.
So Adkins to the line again on second down. JP Sanchez out wide to the bottom of your screen. It's the give to Jeffrey. Jeffrey up the middle. He's got blockers. Jeffrey still going. Jeffrey to the 50. Jeffrey to the 40. Jeffrey to the 30. One man left to beat. He dodges him, makes it around Blandino, who could not make the tackle, and it is a touchdown.
Actually,
as Jeffrey.
It looks like he stepped out of bounds. Nobody got him tackled, but it looks like somebody might have gotten him out of bounds, which is enough to stop the play.
And that explains why Blandino gave up on the
Jeffrey
play.
on the run.
He saw the out of bounds. So it'll be a first down after another electric rushing attack by the Mills Viking offense.
And they might have seen, the other players on Mills might have seen that Beglitsov got all the attention and said, hey, Jeffrey said, hey, I can do that too. And when he gets space, he can.
We got all the graphics for Beglitsov. Maybe Antonio's feeling a little neglected.
And he's done a great job, so he deserves that.
So here's the give back to Jeffrey. He'll take it right up the middle, where he's met by a wall of Indians.
And you know that in a situation like this, when a guy busts out a run like that, you'd love to get him the touchdown, but if the space isn't there, then they're going to have to look in another direction, but they've been more than willing to pass close to the end zone.
Bowie Sunga and Carlos Gonzalez on that tackle. It'll be second down for the Vikings here from Jefferson's 8-yard line. Not quite second and goal. Mills can get a first down without getting a touchdown. Here's Adkins. The snap is high. It's a dish to Jeffrey. Jeffrey around the left side. He's got blockers. That's Kevin Kwok in front of him leading the way.
Jeffrey
and following his left tackle, Kevin Kwok on the pole.
Mills.
It's a touchdown for Antonio Jeffrey. Anything you can do, Victor, I can do better.
And on a play like that, it actually looks like he might have gone in the narrow ground between a touchdown and the first down line, but he got all the way into the end zone, and that makes it another touchdown for Mills.
And so Mills approaching the half a century mark here. If they can convert this, it will be 48-0. Let's see if they've fixed those problems from the last kick. They did not. It was a low snap and no good on the kick.
That was a line drive kick, but not the type of line drive that makes it through the uprights. It was just a little wide, but it was still a pretty hard kick, but just not in the right place.
And I'm not sure whether the problem there was the snap or that Josh Sved in catching the snap with the hold. And you can see Coach talking to Sved right now. It may have been a problem with the hold there, but it was not a problem with Victor Beglitsov. Let's face it, there haven't been any.
Never know, there could be a first. And Mills has interesting special teams. They have Tom Lenneman, who's pretty much their special teams coach, but then it also goes to the rest of the coaching staff. So we'll see how they handle the last two special teams miscues. There isn't a huge pressure to thrive on them right away, but it's still something that you want to work on for big games coming up.
Absolutely, Danny. And in a game like this, where your offense has had so much success, it's nice for Coach Mike and Coach Barrett to have things that they can work on in practice so that it's not all roses.
There's
obviously things that needs to be fixed.
And when you have quality matchups looming like they do, including the rivalry game 2 weeks from tonight, you have to get those things together because that's how you're going to beat most teams in this league.
Now for Jefferson, down 47-0 with 10.5 minutes left in the third quarter. You just know Coach Vega is itching to put something on the board here for his Indians.
And this team has had moments to be proud of, but they need to get in the end zone to get that spiritual boost from getting a score and not being shut out. But they have the talent to do it without question.
No pooch kick, and it's taken by Paramore. And Paramore breaks a few tackles and makes it all the way to the 40-yard line.
Paramore
so Danny,
on the return.
No matter how they kick it off, it seems like Jefferson's always starting from about the 35 or the 40.
Absolutely, and that's how they're going to have to do it. And if you're going to have that kind of field position, you have to maximize that. And while it's still about 60 yards for the score, that's something they can do regardless of who they're going to have at quarterback. And that's the big question right now at the beginning of the second half.
And it will be Blandino at quarterback, and Davis looking still not fully recovered out wide at the bottom of your screen. And here's a flag.
Given the timing, it looks like it was on the offense, but I have not seen it yet. Nope.
Too many men on the field for Mills.
Oh. It looks like it was too many men on the field for Mills, so it's going to be a 1st and 5 as opposed to a 1st and 10.
That's head referee Dustin Drawhorn on the call. So Jefferson now with a 1st and 5. And it's kept by Blandino, and he's got a first down. All the way to the Mills 44-yard line, and a solid run there by Dominic Blandino.
That's exactly what you want to see for your first possession of the second half. A positive gain after a penalty, and now they have another first down.
So building some momentum here for the Indians. Let's see if they can keep it up and avoid some of those setbacks that plagued them in the first half.
And potentially, even though they're behind by plenty, you could see them use the run to set up the pass, because if that's how you generate space, then that's how they're going to get a chance to move ahead in this game.
So here's the fake to Peninsula, and a
Blandino
keeper
on the
by
carry.
Blandino. He'll only get a couple on that, and it'll be 2nd and 8. And Danny, I noticed Davis out there playing wide receiver, but he's still limping. He's clearly not at 100%.
He is not at 100%. You can tell by the way he's moving that it would be dangerous to have him at quarterback. The coaching staff is doing a smart job keeping him away from that. And they're moving the ball down the field. Just have to see if they can turn that into points.
So it'll be 2nd down, and the pitch to Peninsula is behind him. A broken play. The swarming Mills defense was all over it.
Blandino
It was Jepta Zapata
Peninsula, who's
who got
tackled
to
for
him
a big
first.
loss by
Rondell Dondoy and
4 or
Jaime
5
Alfaro were
Vikings.
also there, but Zapata tracked that down on the busted play and made sure Jefferson got nothing.
And you got to feel a little bit bad for Peninsula, because depending on whether they count that as a rush or a fumble recovery, that hurts his rushing totals, even though that really wasn't his fault.
It really wasn't. The pitch was unfortunately behind him, and he made a great play just keeping possession of that ball and keeping Mills from getting another turnover.
And there was enough personnel that he would have been tackled very shortly after he caught it, because even though Blandino made the right decision because he was almost tackled, there was very little space for Peninsula to work with.
So on 3rd and long, it'll be a pass from Blandino. He fires it off to Paramore.
Blandino's
just
pass is
out of his
incomplete
reach.
to
It is
Paramore.
incomplete, and it will be 4th and long. I think we can expect a punt here, Danny.
You can never be too sure. They've gone for it almost every time since the score changed hands. And when your quarterback is your punter, you can do some interesting things. What's been fun in terms of the Jefferson offense is that the receivers have actually generated separation on the defensive backs. They just haven't gotten the ball to them. On a play like that, the
3rd
receiver
down for
actually was
Jefferson.
ahead of the coverage, but you're asking your quarterback to make one tough throw to get it there.
It's a game of inches, Danny, and any other cliches you can think of probably apply too. So here's the punting unit. Blandino back to kick. It's a high snap, but he gets it off.
Another good kick.
It's Sved who elects to return this one. And Sved makes a move, and he's up to the 40-yard line before he is
Sved on
taken
the
down by
return.
Alex Gomez.
Tackled by 61 Alex
That was a nice
Gomez.
return by Sved, one of his first real chances to move with the ball, and he showed what he can do moving around the sideline.
You see Bonclair Matudio here almost was able to make the play, but Sved moving left, moving right with the shifty jukes manages to evade tacklers until the 40-yard line tripped him up.
And on a play like that, you do sometimes see the sideline used as a defender because that did narrow it, but he also used that to his advantage because it changed the lines of attack for the special teams coverage unit and actually may have helped him get more yards. Didn't help him avoid getting tackled, though, because he still got hit pretty hard there.
So just what you were talking about earlier, Danny, after their special teams mishap on the point after, a solid special teams play here by that Mills special teams unit. Let's see what referee Dustin
Sideline
Drawhorn
warning
has.
against Mills.
It's a sideline warning. A little bit too much enthusiasm on the parts of our Mills Vikings sideline players here.
And that can sometimes happen on a play like we saw where the player was tackled right by the sideline, right where the bulk of the few players who are not on the field are, and you can see a reaction to a situation like that.
So let's see what the Vikings do here. It's first down from the 44.
3 in the backfield.
And it's a pass. Adkins looking for Beglitzoff, but it looked like Beglitzoff
deep
stumbled
pass
there,
falls
and that
incomplete to
play
Beglitzoff.
suffered a hitch. Then we're on the same page.
And he's a fast player, but he's not that fast when he stumbles. So that was a play that was, once it was thrown, it was pretty much destined to be incomplete because there were no Jefferson players in the area either.
And Mills still throwing downfield, still gunning here, even up 47-0. You can tell the Vikings really want to put this one away.
They do want to put it away, and they have the personnel to keep doing that. So I would expect it to go at least for a little while now.
Let's see if they pass again here. There's 3 wide receivers. It's a pitch to Sved. Sved makes it
Sved on the run,
to Jefferson
but we got a penalty
45.
flag on the
There is
play.
a flag on the play.
And Sved again using the left sideline, just like he did on the previous play, and got tackled right on the line, as happened previously.
Pound for pound, the toughest guy on this Vikings team. That's what Coach Mike said. He'll take him pound for pound against anybody. And we've seen some tough running from Sved today, no question.
Holding on Mills.
I saw number 2, Narag, on Jefferson limping after that play. We'll have to see. He's still on the field. We'll have to see whether that can limit his mobility moving forward.
The tight end for the Indians, yet another casualty. And it's sometimes in football, it's a war of attrition, Danny. This is a physical game, and it takes its physical toll.
It does, and we've already seen Jefferson take the brunt of those impacts, though we've seen some Mills players banged up as well, including Sanchez on that near touchdown.
Sanchez in there now, and he'll line up at the bottom of your screen. Adkins in the shotgun. Not sure we've seen him line up under center yet in this game. They send Sved in motion, and it's a gift to Jeffrey. Jeffrey around the right side on the sweep, and he's still going. It's a first down and more. He'll make it all the way to the Jefferson 41-yard line, and a solid run and first down gain by Antonio Jeffrey.
And here we can see the run. He went to the right side. He had a little bit more space than was expected, and he got through, and then he got about 12 yards before he started getting wrangled, then got a couple more during that process.
And oh, by the way, did you see Victor Beglitzoff out there making the block on the wing, helping his running back get another 5 to 10 yards? There's really nothing that the guy doesn't do.
He's in the highlights even when the ball's not in his hands. What can you say?
First down here for the Vikings. And early movement by Jefta Zapata. That will bring the Vikings back. And their fast-paced offense was a little too fast right there.
And even though we've seen Mills do a very strong job on offense moving the ball, they have had these mistakes and coachable moments for going forward on the offensive line particularly, and a couple other illegal motion penalties of that sort.
So now it'll be first and 15 for the Vikings.
Traditional alignment, 4 wide receivers in their normal positions.
And a keeper by Adkins. Adkins up the middle, dodges a referee. He's got a first down and more. Now he's to the 20. Now he's to the 15. Almost to the 10-yard line. What an electric quarterback keeper by the junior quarterback, Marquise Adkins. And Mills continues to move the ball effortlessly.
And on a play like that, you can see why his father was a Division I track star at Cal Berkeley.
Yes, those genes came in handy right there as he put on the speed and got to the 15-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10, and Mills once again knocking on the door in the red zone.
And it's worth remembering that part of the reason they adopted this offense was because of Atkins' ability as an athlete, not just as a thrower.
Absolutely. And it's a give to Zapata lining up in the backfield, and he'll plow forward for about a 6-yard gain.
A more traditional play call in most offenses for Mills, and they got what they needed out of it, though we've been so accustomed to the big play that it seemed a little startling at the time.
So call it 2nd and 4 from about the 12-yard line. That trips formation again for Mills. It's Beglitzoff in the slot. And a handoff to Jeffrey right at the middle. This time, he was met
Jeffrey on the carry.
by Bowie Sunga, and may have also stumbled over his own man, the center, Justin DeSan Martino.
And Bowie
Third
Sunga
down.
has probably had his name called the most of any Jefferson defensive player. He's been around the ball when when it hasn't gotten a first down, it's usually been his name, and so he gets a lot of credit for that.
He's plugging up those gaps in the middle,
Timeout, Jefferson.
just like a big D lineman loves to do.
And when you're playing against a team like Mills, sometimes those guys don't get the appreciation they deserve, but sometimes that's the reason why teams spread the ball out, because that's where they have the opportunity to hit the leverage points and actually exploit this defense.
Good call. They don't want to run it at Bowie Sunga, as that last play just demonstrated.
And so now they get a rare third down, but it is a third down and short. And it's, again, and it's fairly close to the end zone, so theoretically they would be in field goal range if they elected to on an unsuccessful third down try.
I'm not sure kicking field goals was in the game plan for the Mills Vikings tonight, Danny.
Hey, they have a guy who can do it, so I would say it's in the play. I'd say it's in the offing if that's what comes here.
So let's see who the Vikings go to on this third down play. Joshua Sved lined up all the way wide out at the bottom of your screen. Beglitzoff at the top of your screen. Here's Adkins, and it's a run. They give it to Alfaro, and Jaime Alfaro straight ahead into the end zone. Touchdown, Vikings.
Jaime Alfaro, we haven't called his name too much on offense, but he has the capability of doing that. We might see more of him as the score gets a little bit higher and gets into some more crooked numbers.
Potentially, Coach Krieger able to give some experience, some downs, some reps to some players that don't always get him.
Yeah, and you have to give the offensive line a lot of credit for creating holes there, and he had the space to make a good cut and to make a good read, and he got into the end zone.
Let's see if they fix their problems on the snap and the hold. It appears that on
Kick
that
is
play
good.
they did. The point
Mills
after is
54.
good. The score is now 54-0 with 5.5 minutes left in the third quarter.
And when you see a clean kick like that, it makes you think that it was the hold or the positioning of the ball, because when it's been put in a good position, Beglitzoff has put it through the uprights. We can't know for sure, but that's what it looks like now. When you've seen, that one wasn't as high through the uprights as the last couple were that were successful, but that's what Beglitzoff does when he gets his foot cleanly on the ball. We haven't had to see him punt, but apparently that's how that works as well.
It could be, Danny, it could be that Beglitzoff is so tired from running up and down the field scoring touchdowns that maybe his leg didn't have as much juice on it.
That could be. Looks like they're lining up for the kickoff, and we'll have to see whether they go back to the more pooch, shorter kicks that they've done that have gotten them in the same 35-40 range, or if they'll try to air it out again.
And for Jefferson, Regal Peniza and Johnny Paramore back there looking to make a play, get some
back to receive
positive
the kick.
energy for this beleaguered Indians team. And it is a squib kick, but Peniza comes up to recover it, now trying to get behind his own teammates. A solid block by Bowie Sunga, but was not
He's
able
on the
to
return,
clear
tackled
him
by Alfaro.
to gain any more yardage.
Peninsula did a good job just getting his energy up, and he had a little space to work with, but there was one guy who could take him down, and that one man did.
We've got a Mills player on the field now, cramping up, it looks like. I believe that is Joshua Sved. That's the second Mills player we've seen with cramps. JP Sanchez was the first.
Both wide receivers, both tough guys. We'll have to see if he can make it back the way that Sanchez has.
Coach Krieger may have a talking to his team after this one about staying hydrated.
He could. We should also spend some time, considering there's 0 points on the board for Jefferson, giving some credit to Barrett Krieger, who is the brother of head coach Mike Krieger, who is the defensive coordinator for this team.
And the Kriegers have been coaching for years here. They were coaches for that 2003 Mills team that won the championship, that went undefeated. And we got several alumni from that team that have come back to this program because of their experience with the Kriegers, knowing what great coaches they are. And they've got, in fact, one player who's playing in the NFL right now. Fanica is Paulie Fanica. That's right, a starting guard for the Arizona Cardinals. He was a member of that 2003 undefeated Mills team, as are all the assistant coaches on this Mills staff. Now here's the keeper by Blandino. Blandino gets some forward progress. Met right at the 40-yard line by Christian Miranda.
Blandino on the carry.
And that was a good tackle by Miranda because Blandino had some momentum there, but Miranda just stopped him in his tracks.
And we had a nice angle on how fluid an athlete Blandino is. He got some space. He made a nice little shifty move. You could see the kick returner in him, and he got some space. You could also see, unfortunately enough, you could see Davis, while he's playing receiver, he had a little bit of struggle to get back to the huddle. He got a feel for the kid.
He's given it his all. He does not quit. What a special, special athlete and special talent is Damari Qual-Davis. So here's Blandino back to throw. Rondell Dondoy all in his face. They were trying to set up the screen
Pass
there,
but
the pressure was just too fierce, and it's an incomplete pass.
And while the screen pass can be the best defense against a heavy pass rush, you have to get it to the runner in order to make that happen. And the size of the Mills players as opposed to the size of the running back makes it a difficult play in certain situations. Peninsula just doesn't have the height to make it a real tight angle to get it in there. You can have to float it, but you have to worry about interception or some sort of other turnover in that case.
So it's second down here from the 42-yard line. And they keeper by Blandino, and he takes it again. He's got another first down and more to the 40-yard line of Mills and beyond, all the way
keeps it himself
to the 36, and it'll be a first down Jefferson, and Blandino's starting to make some special plays here.
He is. It's a little bit scary when your best plays are designed runs by your second-string quarterback, but if that's what works, that's what you do to get on the scoreboard.
Let's not forget, he was the starting quarterback. He's a senior. He stepped back to allow that special talent, Damari Davis, to get the playing time at that position. But let's not forget, Dominic Blandino's got plenty of talent.
He's second string, but he's been first string before. He knows what it takes, and while the offense does look different under the two quarterbacks, they have moved the ball pretty well.
So they give to Peninsula, and he is met at the line by Amin Alazay. And that was...
And when you run
that was Kevin Kwok playing on defense now as Coach Krieger starts to mix it up a little, his personnel, with the score 54-0 with 3 minutes left in the third quarter.
And Jefferson has had trouble when they've tried to put the ball up the middle, but when they've gone more to the edges at the tackle box or outside of that, they've done a pretty good job in terms of getting the ball down the field.
Now the give again to Peninsula, up the middle again met by a wall of Vikings. That was John San Jose and Rondell Dondoy.
And we again saw what happened when they try to run on the interior of this defense. While they only have 3 down linemen, those 3 down linemen are filling up the gaps and making it hard for them to do interior runs.
Saleh Lungi also involved in that tackle, and he got up a little shaky. Let's see if Amin Alazay, who's coming in now, replaces Saleh Lungi, and he does. So Lungi, limping a little as he comes up the field, replaced by Alazay. And let's see if that gives Jefferson inspiration to continue running up the middle with big Saleh Lungi no matter in there. And it's a keeper or a broken up play
Blandino
that
on the
Blandino
carry.
kept, and he gets about a yard. If that, it'll be 4th down.
When you look at how far Davis made it
Tackle
down the
by
field,
Clark.
makes it clear that that was a pass play that broke down. And we've seen that a fair amount from Jefferson during this game under both quarterbacks, of having a designed pass but having pressure change that pass into a run. It's actually been some of their best plays, though some of the other ones have been designed quarterback runs. But the quarterbacks, Blandino and Davis, have been the keys to the success that Jefferson has had on offense.
And here's Blandino. Let's see what success he can have here on 4th down. Davis in motion. Looking for Davis in the end zone, and it's almost
Blandino's pass
intercepted,
almost intercepted
by Christian Miranda, who is glum and
Miranda.
despondent
And while you
regarding his inability to secure that interception.
And while you can tell that Miranda's disappointed not getting the interception, in the battle of field position, it probably is better for Mills that he did not catch it, because that was a pretty long pass and it was 4th down. They don't have a chance, they don't pass go, they don't collect $200, it's Mills' ball.
Good point, Danny. They actually get it now in much better field position, right about the 30-yard line.
Not that they've been too concerned with it so far. And we see them lining up again, very little huddling, and it's Atkins back there at quarterback.
So here's Adkins to give to Jeffrey. Jeffrey around the right side. He's got plenty of blockers. Zapata's there to block. Kevin Kwok's there to block. And now no one needs to block because there's nobody in front of him. He will go all the way to the end zone. Touchdown,
Jeffrey.
Antonio Jeffrey.
Touchdown,
Victor Beglesov, who?
Mills.
And now Jeffrey has 4 touchdowns, so you can make the yardage versus touchdowns argument, but they both delivered. It's not a choice between two evils, it's a choice between 2 beautiful successes.
Well, I'm not sure how long that one was, but I'm sure it added to Jeffrey's yardage total, too.
That's another, I believe that's the second, maybe the third play that Mills has had of more than 70 yards. Just absolutely impressive in this game.
So Mills with yet another extra point attempt here. And this extremely lopsided score will get a little bit more so. And yet another botched snap by that Mills special teams unit. And Coach Krieger's going to have a lot to work on with that unit.
He is. We'll have to see whether that one was botched because there was a whistle or whether it was something like that, because it looked like the whistle happened before Sved had trouble handling the snap. So that can be more justified than some of the other mistakes. And it's a penalty on Jefferson, but it has been declined. So we're just going to see the kick in the normal position.
All right, take 2. And again, a high snap. Sved's unable to handle it. Beglesov tries to make it into the end zone, knocks over Sved to get there, and it will be a 2-point conversion.
And while Beglesov's been more of the catching and running, he's showing Randall that he can run. He's showing Jeffrey that he can run as well.
Jefferson.
And poor Joshua Sved just couldn't get out of Victor's way there, and he ended up paying the price. But I think he'll take it because they got 2 points out of it.
It looks like Sved got hit harder on that one than he did on this play on the sideline on a kick return that ended up being a sideline warning for Mills. So we'll see if there's a sideline warning for them on their own player for the contact there.
Very, very interesting, Danny. So that 2-point conversion makes up for one of the missed field goals earlier, and it's now 62-0 with 1 minute and 18 seconds left in the third quarter. And Mills unstoppable in this game. It has been a dominant performance by the Vikings.
And once they've gotten into space in particular, once they get into space, the only space that matters is how far it is from there to the end zone. They have not been able to chase down players. Jefferson.
A tremendous amount of athleticism on this Mills team, and in space they are fast, they are quick, they are dangerous.
But that also shows for Jefferson, that shows how much different this game could look if they'd made a couple of tackles or had the ability to chase them down. This score would be a lot less lopsided.
That's right. Earlier, remember, Victor Beglesov in the backfield, and Ramel Narag almost had him in his hands, couldn't bring him down, ended up being a huge play. So here's Beglesov. Let's see what kind of a kick they go with now. And it's a squib kick. Fielded through Paniza's hands. Paramore tries to get it. Now he's up with it. And there's a whistle. They're going to call it down. at the 13-yard line.
Paramore received the
Not
hit, but
the
no
usual
return.
good field position for the Jefferson Indians. They're going to have an even longer field to try to go down here.
That's
Got
what can
Steve
happen when you
Wang on
see a
the
guy
clock
catch the
tonight.
ball with his knees on the ground, because in a situation like this, as opposed to the NFL, where you can be, in the NFL, you have to be touchdown. In here, just like in college, if you are down and you catch the ball, you are at that spot. So it's tough field position. We made the jokes that it's between the 35 and the 40 for Jefferson on almost every possession. This one is not between the 35 and the 40.
Agreed.
Timeout,
It'll
Mills.
be first and 10. It'll be a timeout by Mills, their first timeout of the second half. And we'll see what Coach Krieger wants to talk
we have
about
1
here.
minute and 8 seconds left in the third quarter. Each team has 2 remaining timeouts, and it's going to be first down on, it looks like about the 13. It's hard to tell from here, but about the 13-yard line.
Now, earlier we were talking about the alumni for Mills that have come back to coach for Coach Krieger. It's the same story on the other side of the ball, in fact. For Jefferson, Coach Vega has several alumni playing for him as well, including one alumnus.
Well, Keone Harris is currently starting at Indiana State at wide receiver, and Nalu,
yes. Nalu Fusimalohi is a starting guard right now for the University of Kansas.
University of Kansas, again, a D1 school. They've had a little bit of a tough time this year, but that's great. An amazing accomplishment for this school to have a player in a starting position at a D1 school in a major conference.
So let's see what Blandino does here on first down from the 13-yard line. And it's a keeper by Blandino, taken down by Gabe Sanchez.
Blandino on the run.
Who comes up
Sanchez
pumped up
on the tackle.
from that tackle there at the line of scrimmage. It'll be no gain, 2nd and 10.
And at the mesh point there, he could have handed the ball off to Paramore, who was in motion. He elected not to, and that could have been the good decision because that would have spread out the Mills defense.
So we're definitely seeing some replacement players in here. Gabe Sanchez, not a starter on defense, but a starter on offense, made that last tackle.
We also see Christian Miranda out there right now.
Blandino back to pass again. Evades 1 tackle, evades 2, can't evade 3, and there's Gabe Sanchez again.
on the run
2
again,
tackles
and
in a row
Sanchez
on
once
Dominic
again
Blandino.
on the tackle.
And it's got to feel good on a team that has so few players to be able to show, even as a starter on one side, to then go on the defensive end and make a couple nice plays.
And that'll be your final play of the third quarter. Mills 62.
So the third quarter will end here. The score 62-0 in favor of the Vikings.
Many thanks go to Magnolia of Millbrae for sponsoring this event. The Magnolia of Millbrae is a welcoming place for seniors who want luxurious living conditions with a swimming pool, fine dining, and a gated covered parking garage. For more information, please contact www.themagnolia.com or call 650-697-7700, or you can call toll-free 1-888-860-6915.
And if you are enjoying watching this program or any other programs on MCTV, consider becoming an MCTV underwriter. It's a great way to get your name on local television and to support the Millbrae community. And of course, your support is crucial in helping MCTV to produce quality programming with a local focus. For info on underwriting opportunities or to sign up for an underwriting package, please contact MCTV at area code 650-259-2343 or send an email to info@mctv.tv.
And it looks like we're getting ready for the fourth quarter to begin. We had to switch all the way across the field, and so now it's going to be third down on Jefferson's own 13-yard line.
Blandino back to pass. Long ball to Davis, and it is caught. Davis caught, and he's still going. Oh,
Nope,
but he
looks
was
like he
stepped
stepped
out
out.
of bounds. They'll mark it at the Mills 49-yard line. A huge play and catch from Blandino to Davis.
Jefferson with the
Davis,
completion.
doesn't matter what you do to his legs. He's still in there. He's still playing. He's still making great plays.
And it's got to
First
make the whole
down.
team feel good for a player who was having so much trouble getting off the field before to make such a great play. And got to feel great for Davis and for Blandino on a quality throw.
And here's Blandino again. Almost
Blandino
intercepted.
incomplete.
Amin Alize really wanted to
Broken
get
up
that one.
by
Don't be surprised to see
Alize.
that be a
However, there's
penalty on the
flag
defense right there.
play.
We're waiting for the official call.
Here's Dustin Drawhorn, our referee. Pass interference on Mills.
Pass interference against the Vikings. That'll be first down for Jefferson.
That'll be another first down for Jefferson. They're getting some momentum here. And as you've seen, the further the receivers have gone down the field, the more opportunities they've developed.
Well, it was a huge play from Blandino to Davis that took this from the 13-yard line to the 40, and now they're at the 35. Blandino back to pass again, looking for Davis again, and it is intercepted this time. That's Beglitzoff, guess who? And he's making a play back up the field.
Blandino
Almost to the
intercepted
40-yard
by
line.
Beglitzoff. First down,
And Victor
Vikings.
Beglitzoff continues to do it. He says, hey, did you forget about me? Well, here I am.
Now Jeffrey needs to make a play on defense in order to show that he can be the dual threat as well. But he'll never get the chance to kick the ball. So a beautiful play by Beglitzoff. It was given a good opportunity on the throw by Blandino. He didn't have a great line on his receiver. He threw it anyway, and he threw it to a guy who knows what to do with the ball when he has it in his hands.
Only a guy who knows what to do with the ball, but who's on the different team. Yeah, it looked like Blandino's throw there maybe slipped a little bit coming out of his hand or was a little shaky, but was not the dynamic spiral that we had been seeing from him on those previous throws.
And it can get a little shaky at this level when you're trying to throw a deep ball, and that was definitely a difficult throw. So they were asking a lot of their team in order to make a throw like that, but it's nice to see them gunning for it in this game like this.
And it's nice to see them looking twice in a row to Damari Davis, their star sophomore, who's gunning it out and doing a great job.
For quarterback. Looks like there's a different player at quarterback for Mills.
Yes, Christian Miranda in now playing quarterback. So Marquise Atkins is going to get a break. They give it to Jaime Alfaro on the sweep, and he's still going to the 30-yard line, to the 25, almost to the
Alfaro
20.
on the carry, first down, Vikings.
Jaime Alfaro takes it all the way from the 40-yard line of Mills down to the 15-yard line of Jefferson on an explosive run on that one.
You see that, and that was a combination of nice blocking and nice push and acceleration by a running back, a guy who doesn't start a running back for this team. Got to be happy with that.
So the backups now getting plenty of playing time here. 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It'll be Miranda in the shotgun, or the pistol, excuse me. He's back there with Zapata and Alfaro. Let's give to Alfaro again. Alfaro right up the middle. Ooh, and a huge hit
Alfaro
by
on the
Johnny
carry.
Paramore.
First down,
Sent
Mills.
Alfaro to the turf. Not in my house, said Johnny.
He may be a second stringer, but he took a first string hit right there. That was impressive. And also, we should note that we're seeing Kershaw Manny, another potential quarterback for Mills, is warming up on the sideline. So we might get to see him. We might get to see him. Actually, that looks like it's Beglitzoff as well. So we might get to see him back on the field, though I doubt it on offense.
Beglitzoff might not let Coach Krieger take him off the field, Danny.
Yeah, we'll have
So
to,
here's Miranda. Miranda, and
that's
they
Jerry-
gave it
Ibanez on the carry.
to Jerry Ibanez.
Second down.
a sophomore.
Not make it to the end zone there. It'll be second and goal from just about the 4.
And you're seeing different players make contributions for Mills. And we've already said that they have had coachable moments, and now they get to evaluate and also get some positive reinforcement for guys who are going to be on the team for years to come.
that ball is on the 2, and Mills really knocking on the door here. Now, Ibanez, who took that last carry, is shaken up a little, and he'll be helped off the field by the trainer.
But it looks like he's moving pretty well in his own power, so we've got to be encouraged by that.
Well, we've got a break here, Danny. Just going back to what I was talking about earlier, the alumni who are coaching for Coach Vega here. Two coaches, Coach Tony Olmos, who actually played for Coach Vega because Coach Vega also coached the varsity baseball team, and also Coach Sadi Bernard, both former Jefferson alumni who've come back here to coach and help on their former school. So a lot of great tradition, a lot of great history and loyalty for both of these programs.
And that's such a nice thing to see as we see the next play lining up.
So Miranda on the give to Zapata, and Zapata into the end zone. Jeff to Zapata with the rushing touchdown. And Mills continues to pile on. It is 68-0.
And what we might see is the only time Beglesov is on the field for offense now is technically on special teams, kicking the extra point.
So this pounding continues.
And while we're not seeing as many of the long plays as we did when the starters were on the field, that was a very effective drive. Very few dangerous down and distance situations. They just moved it down clinically and got down there and got another touchdown.
There was one long play on that drive, that huge run by Jaime Alfaro.
And the kick is good.
Following that,
6-9.
they just pounded it right up the middle and put it in the end zone.
Yeah, got to give credit to Jaime Alfaro for that long run. I had neglected that. And now we get to see, maybe we'll get to see how the defense can do playing with different guys.
You can see our Millbrae Community Television production vehicle on your screens right now. We'd like to thank all the great folks at Millbrae Community Television for all their wonderful work. Director Andy Pittman, General Manager Randy Sahai, Jeff McGinnis on audio and camera, Kyle Chen on camera, Andy Chan, Justin Hui, and Gabe Luna also manning our fine camera crew, our fine staff today, putting together this production for you, for your enjoyment. We thank them for their excellent work. Keep it up, guys.
Because you still have plenty more to do. Thanks so much. And it's another kickoff opportunity for Victor Beglesov and Mills. We'll see if they're going to do the short kicks like they've done most of the game, or if they'll try to do another long one. And after the success on the last ground ball kick, I'm assuming we'll see that again.
7:07 left in the fourth quarter. It's 69-0 Mills. So here's Beglesov. He doesn't get a break. Another squib kick. Fielded over Paniza's head again. He recovers better this time, but there's a bunch of Mills players there, and he'll be taken down right around the 28-yard line. Make it the 26.
Peniza on the return.
And I don't think this is part of the strategy, but the balls are taking high bounces over Peniza, who is not the tallest man on the field, and they're getting extra seconds to get down there and make the tackle.
It's almost like the bounce you'd see on an onside kick, only it's happening, 40, 50 yards downfield.
Yeah, and it's taking a jump, and Peniza's making a game effort to try to get the ball. It's just not taking a bounce that he can catch it. Then he's having to spin around and also go from a jumping position to having to scramble back and get it before, because that's a live football.
So let's see what the Indians can manufacture here on offense. Blandino's still back there, and Paramore at the bottom of your screen. Now it's a run to Peniza, and he is taken down by the bull, Rondell Dondoy, who has been in the backfield on seemingly every single play for the Vikings.
On the tackle.
He's done an absolutely incredible job of getting into the backfield. I haven't seen a player in a while who made such a high proportion of the tackles he makes behind the line of scrimmage.
That's that TFL stat, Danny. Tackles for a loss. That's the bull, Rondell Dondoy.
Yeah, tackles for loss and sacks.
So it'll be second down now, 2nd and 10 for the Indians. Let's see what Coach Vega dials up here. They don't want this shutout. They want to put some points on the board, Danny. And here's Blandino. The give to Peniza. Peniza up the middle. He's met by a host of Vikings. That was Amin Alizé on the tackle.
Peninsula on the carry.
Unfortunately for Jefferson, if they're going to want to get this around the swarm, they're actually going to literally need to get it around the swarm and use the edges and use the exterior by stretching the ball vertically. If they're going to keep going up the middle, it doesn't matter whether Mills has starters or backups in. Jefferson has not been able to get real penetration, been able to move the ball down the field through the center. We'll have to see if they're going to branch out from that and try some different things like they did on the last possession. It worked out pretty well.
All right, third down now for Blandino. Back to pass again. Looking deep over the middle. And incomplete. He was looking for Narag. Narag wants a flag on the play. Coverage by Christian Miranda.
Narag pass incomplete.
And that was better coverage downfield by Miranda than we've seen most of the time from the corners and safeties on deep balls. That's actually been a weakness for Mills that hasn't been exploited. But on that play, Miranda was right there, and it might have been a little bit tight coverage, but the ball wasn't there anyway, and it looked clean to me.
Also in was Krishal Mani as Coach Krieger continues to roll out the backups, get everyone some much-needed valuable playing time and experience with still 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
And it's fourth down, and it looks like we're going to see them punt, though as we mentioned each time, their punter is also their quarterback. So you never know what shenanigans could come through.
And with 4 minutes left and facing a shutout that you know they don't like, we could very well see a fake here. Let's keep our eyes peeled.
Well, Jefferson has to be aware of the possibility that Mills will just,
And another high snap over the head of Blandino, and he just has to cover up, and it'll be Mills
Jefferson
football
was back to punt.
with 2 yards to go on the goal line.
Mills ball.
And I was about to speculate that if Mills got the ball back, they were just going to run out the clock, but I'm not sure they can run out the clock from the Jefferson 2. This score might be getting a little bit bigger.
Let's see if Coach Krieger calls in the victory formation and just has his quarterback kneel for 3 straight downs.
With 3 minutes to go, that might not actually be enough time. We might actually see them just run the ball a few times, and if they get in, then that's great for them, and if they don't, then the game is over.
So we'll see who they give the ball to here. Alfaro is in again as the running back, as is Jerry Ibanez. Looks like both Krishal Mani and Christian Miranda are out there. I think they're not sure who's going in as quarterback.
And interestingly enough, it looks like the game clock is running even though there hasn't been a play in a while, so we'll have to see if they put more time back on the clock or if it's just going to keep going.
So this Jefferson team, obviously it's a struggle, Danny.
It is.
Coach Vega, in his first year as their varsity head coach, he knew it was going to be a struggle coming in, but he had previously been the Frosh-Soph coach, and you can see there's some tremendous young talent on this team, and there's sophomores like Damari Davis. However, it's clear that the rebuilding process and the growth process and continuing to improve and get better needs to happen for the Indians before they can start avoiding lopsided results like this one.
When your most electric player is a sophomore, you can see some pretty blue skies ahead, and that's how you have to look at this for Jefferson. These are growing pains. This is a team that should be better next year than they are right now, and they should be better next week than they are right now.
Krishal Manny's in the quarterback. He takes a knee.
And we're in victory formation. Krishal Manny there took the knee.
So the Vikings will just kneel and let the seconds tick down on this one. It has been quite the impressive display for the Vikings on their home field on homecoming night. Jefferson, still some improvements to be made, but a huge win for the Vikings here.
And a very nice gesture that when you have the ball on the doorstep in a game like this, where they could easily make one of their kids happy with a touchdown and make the score even worse, that they went into victory formation and just ended the game. Put a nice little bow on their win. And
absolutely, Danny. Classy move right here. Total show of class from Coach Krieger, as it should be. No need to run up more points here. No need to punch it in again. This is definitely the right call. Kneel, let these guys go home and enjoy their Friday night, enjoy their homecoming victory.
They've made their statement, and also that reduces the risk of injury, which is another important factor, unfortunately, that we've seen in this game.
Yes, sir. Well, there's 33 seconds left in the game as the clock continues to tick down. We'll see if they make Mills make another snap here. It looks like Mills will snap again, and Krishal Mani will take a knee, and that will do it for this one. as the
There you
Mills
have it.
Vikings
That's your final score. Mills
take down the
69,
visiting Jefferson Indians.
nothing. Thanks for coming out,
And
everybody.
your final score
Everybody drive safe.
is Mills 69, Jefferson 0.
And this was an all-around dominating performance by Mills. They got excellent play from their skill position glamour players, and you can't overlook how well their defensive and offensive line play, because you don't get a score like this without excellence all over the field.
Coach Krieger talked about how he wanted better blocking up front, how he wanted better execution at the line of scrimmage from his defensive and offensive linemen. I think he got what he wanted tonight.
You can't execute much better than they did. They did a good job creating space, and they did an even better job making sure that they maximized the space they got and had a lot of long touchdowns.
If you would like to purchase a DVD of today's game, it's easy. We offer copies for sale online at the address you see on the screen below. MCTV has an online store through square.com.
You can also give us a call at area code 650-259-2343, and we'll take your order over the phone. DVDs can be ordered for pickup at our office, or you can have the DVDs mailed to you for a small additional charge. DVD sales go to support the production of our sporting events, so not only do you get a great memory captured on video, you do something great for the community. For more information, give us a call or check out our website, www.mctv.tv. Don't wait, order 1 or 10 today.
Or 110, however many you'd like.
Or 69 for 69 to nothing.
Well, we would like to thank you for joining us tonight, and we'd like to thank the MCTV Sports crew, and a special thanks to the students of the Mills High Advanced Art of Video class. They gave us a great halftime video about homecoming, and we are very pleased to have them helping MCTV as crew for these sports productions. They've done a great job tonight, Danny. It's been a great time, a good learning environment, and a pretty good showing for the homecoming here at Mills.
You really couldn't ask for much more than what Mills brought out there today. They had plays to make the crowd happy in long runs. They had some technically nice running from Jeffrey, and they had Beglesov, the marquee player, just brought it tonight.
Victor Beglesov was unstoppable. Antonio Jeffrey was excellent. Let's not forget Marquise Adkins, who delivered the ball to both those guys on time and time again with crisp passes, making good decisions out there in the zone read option.
And as we said before, you cannot have a play like this without excellent play in the trenches. The offensive line was producing space. You saw it more on the runs than on the passes, but they did an excellent job and deserve plenty of praise as well.
And for Jefferson, a tough loss, but some positives here. They got their sophomore quarterback, Damari Davis, was a real hero in this game. I think he earned the respect of everyone on this field, everyone in the stands, and everyone watching at home.
And Blandino showed why the team should have confidence in him as well. He threw a nice ball out there. He made some of the more gutsy throws that we saw from either team in this game, and you have a lot that you can build on there.
Now for Mills, looking ahead, they've got Cappuccino in 2 weeks when MCTV will be back to bring you that production. They want to build off this. They want to continue the momentum. Look to them to keep giving it to big number 12, right?
Absolutely, and that's a rivalry game, so you have to expect that they'll come out with some fire, and that's going to be a road game, I believe, for Mills as well, so we'll have to see how they can do away from the friendly confines.
All right, well, it's been a pleasure having you with us, Danny LaRue from RealGM.com. It's been a real honor. Thank you for joining us.
It's been a lot of fun. It's been a very impressive game and had a blast. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you very much to all of you for watching and for joining us on this thrilling Mills dominating homecoming victory. For all of us at MCTV, for all of us here in Mills High School football, for our Jefferson Indians, and for the Peninsula Athletic League, thank you very much. We'll see you next time on MCTV.